Yes, we're going to be discussing a project we're working on, documenting the history of events that unfolded on the campus of Bowling Green State University after the Kent State shootings in May of 1970. It's essentially a story of what could have been a potentially calamitous situation on campus that ended up being mitigated through the actions of remarkable collaboration, in a sense, between the president of Bowling Green State University and student activists. And so one of the graduate students in history at BG who has been working on this with us and has been a really critical part of the project is Zack Burton, and he is here to provide some background, historical, contextual information on the event, which he has done a lot of work on. So he's just going to comment and give you more of the story than either I or our colleague Libby. So, Zack, please. Right?
In case you forgot there, I'm a second-year history master's student at Bowling Green State University, and basically my role in this project has been to provide some background historical research to basically input some of the metadata related to other projects that we're working on involving this collection, and and I just want to give some brief historical context for what we're about to be talking about today. So, quote, the next 10 days will tell us more about the destiny of this university than anything that has happened before, end quote, said Bowling Green State University President William T. Jerome from the steps of Williams Hall to a crowd of just over 500 students. And this was on May 4th, 1970, just about 4 hours after the members of the Ohio National Guard opened fire on a crowd of Kent State University students, killing 4. Just under 150 miles to the west, Bowling Green was about as far away from Kent as two Ohio cities can get. But when President Jerome ensured that BGSU became one of the only major state institution to remain open in the aftermath of the Kent State shootings, the two would be united by their significance in a particularly tumultuous period in American history. So the correspondence that Jerome, already in the final month of his presidency by the time of the shootings, would receive during those prophetic next 10 days, would come to define his career as both a college president and a leader during the heat of the anti-war movement. BGSU students, faculty members, administrators, and along with members of the Bowling Green community, would shower Jerome with letters of support. Quote, your availability, quickness to act, and sympathetic response prevented violence at BGSU, I am certain, wrote, end quote, wrote graduate student Dean Howard. Another student, Jack McDonald, wrote, quote, I don't know how many students feel the same way I do, but I want you to know that I will stand behind any decisions you make, end quote. Faculty members also almost unanimously expressed their support for Jerome. Quote, when a situation explodes, we know a bad decision has been made. When a situation does not explode, we too often fail to realize that someone has been making good decisions, end quote, marketing professor Bill Hoskins said. Quote, the university must be kept open at all costs. We must take positive strides and not retreat, wrote T.R. Fisher with the signatures of half the biology department as well. Dean of the Business Administration Department, Marie Hodge, noted, quote, recent events could have only evolved in the framework of the quality of leadership and pride you have contributed. It has been rewarding to me to have been here during these years. The bulk of the community also expressed their support for Jerome's leadership. However, many individuals, parents in particular, were outraged by Jerome's perceived capitulation to demands made by the Black Student Union, as well as the university's open opposition to the war in Vietnam. Quote, whatever happened to the democratic principles of majority rules and do what is best for the majority, end quote, decried George Angel in all capital letters. Quote, get tough, make your own demands, end quote. Many expressed anger that taxpayer funds would tangentially sort of support students harboring anarchic ideas. referring to college students as, quote, dope-crazed maniacal teeny boppers, end quote. Robert F. McKean wrote in a postscript, quote, I am most sick of paying for your combination college and country club, or is it a progressive kindergarten, end quote. And then another quote here. I will pray that God will find a way to bring order to the situation, that the professors who promote revolutionary thinking, free love, and do your thing will be dealt with as harshly as they deserve, and the willful students will be given a quick escort from the campus that they so wholeheartedly detest, end quote, wrote Marion Goosey. Quote, may the pinch of the recession be felt by those who are not aware of the pain and labor that goes with getting together money for tuition, room, and board, end quote. So cultural anxieties aside, the hundreds of letters in the William T. Jerome collection depict a broad network of community connection, a startling record of the central figure's leadership, skill, and a growing line of communication between town and gown. And that's why we're undertaking this project that we're talking about today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Also, in case you forgot my name, again, it's Nick Pavlick. I am my role in this is, in my capacity at BG, I'm the curator of manuscripts and digital projects at the Center for Archival Collections. And I was going to talk about the existing digital exhibition that we have, featuring materials from President William T. Jerome's papers, as well as articles from the BG student newspaper, the BG News, and photographs from the University Archives collection. And it's something that Zack has been doing a lot of really wonderful work on with the metadata for all of the objects that we're going to be importing into the existing digital exhibit. The digital exhibit is quite skeletal still. It's nothing earth-shattering, but it's something we're very much looking forward to expanding upon and integrating a lot more content in there in the future, and also integrating it more closely with the text encoding initiative project that related also to this event that Libby's going to speak about in just a moment. I was going to actually talk about the metadata import process, batch import process for the digital exhibit, in case anybody is interested in using the digital collection and exhibition software program called Omeka. And we're looking for a way to make batch import of metadata and files into exhibit you may be working on easier. But in light of the restrictions on time here, and also the fact that compared to the other talks we've had, that is so boring. I'm going to skip over that part and just say, I'm going to be here the rest of the day, and so if you do, I can show you the slides I had, but if you do want to talk about possible ways that the metadata and file importing process can be made much easier in Omeka for digital exhibitions, please talk to me. I can run through this with you. It won't last, but I don't want to waste any time on that, and I want to get to the meat of what is most fascinating about this project, the text encoding initiative that we can talk more about. So, this is the result I was going to show you about a successful import from a CSV file into Omeka through the CSV plugin. Most of you may already know all about that also, so I could also just be wasting people's time. Anyways, we're going to be getting to Libby's talk on the text encoding initiative.
Well, hi, I'm Libby Hertenstein. I'm the cataloger and metadata librarian at Bowling Green State University, and now I feel a little guilty because this is going to be very techy, so I apologize if it's boring. But has anybody ever heard of TEI or Text Encoding Initiative? Good. Okay, great. So my presentation today, I'm really going to talk about what it is for the rest of you who may not know what it is, how it can be used, why it should be used, how BGSU has used it in the past, and then what we're doing now with the Kent State project. So TEI stands for Text Encoding Initiative, and it was originally conceived of in the 1980s by an international group of mostly linguists, and so you see kind of a lot of that come out in what you can do with it. The first standard for TEI came out in the early 1990s. It is XML based, so you can kind of get a sense of what the XML base looks like. It can be used for a variety of things. Our first project that we used, which we'll talk about later, was used for manuscript materials. It can also be for literary materials, and part of our Kent State project is that ultimately we also want to use it for our audio materials we have related to the Kent State program. We have this wonderful collection that we found, these reel-to-reel tapes of resident student assistants who were on campus, and we think that these tapes were recorded in the 1970s. And they're talking about how their students actually responded to Kent State and really kind of getting the feedback of the students that you don't always necessarily get. And so it's been really interesting. What I love about TEI so much as a metadata librarian is that you can actually catalog or bring out elements within an object as opposed to describe the object as a whole. So for example, if you want to do a search of all the personal names across a huge body of literature, you can do this with TEI. Okay, so why should you use TEI and why do we kind of use TEI? First off, the digital humanities. Our university is really excited about the digital humanities. We're trying to get a master's program that can kind of focus on the digital humanities. We have a lot of interest from our faculty. I actually just met with the Russian department. They're going to apply TEI to Anna Karenina. And so they're going to do kind of like an English-Russian thing where they're going to be able to kind of run text analysis and also add their own editorial kind of spin on it. The other thing is that it's relatively easy to teach. I am not a computer savant, as you can tell from all the issues that we've had, but I can do TEI, and we've been able to teach a variety of people pretty quickly how to do it. And I actually learned how to do TEI by going to Rare Book School, which is at the University of Virginia, Charlottesville. I encourage all of you to go. The other thing about TEI that I love is that it's super duper flexible. There's about 400 elements that are right now kind of legitimate or in a vocabulary, but you can basically mark your own things if you care about them. Okay, so what have we done with TEI at BGSU? Our first project was the Emerson family papers, and what they were World War I letters home from Northwest Ohio soldiers. And this is kind of where we really learned how to do TEI, and so we've got really comfortable in doing it with manuscript materials. We're also now evolving to include another type of content. We're going to be looking at our pulp magazines. BG is home to the Brown Popular Culture Library, and so they've got a really amazing collection of pulp magazines that we want to digitize all of them and then make some sort of database where you could go in and search it using TEI. Like I said previously, we're also taking it out to the language courses. We've managed to streamline training. Our training started out really small. It just started with me, and then I taught 2 people in my department how to do it, and then we taught students. And then from there, we've taught faculty members, we taught Zack how to do it, so he's done it, and we're continuing to do that. We've created internal documents that we hope someday to kind of export so people can use TEI and get it kind of up and going. The other nice thing about TEI is that it requires relatively little in a way. Really all you need is just an XML editor, objects, and someone who can put it up on the internet for you. So we have basically just for our projects used Oxygen, and then we have a library IT department that has made everything for us, and that's been really useful because, like I said, learning is their learning. The process for actually getting your TEI documents together is really easy. All you really have to do is just digitize, transcribe, and then mark up. Okay, so as I said previously, TEI can be very, very flexible. And we have this huge corpus where we didn't know what we were going to really have. We've got about 9 letters up right now, but there's hundreds of them. How many letters would you guess? 400 plus?
More than 400.
Okay, more than 400 letters. So we wanted to basically do a very broad TEI vocabulary and really only focus on key concepts that we could do under this large corpus, but still be able to grow. We also, as a practice at BG, post our TEI so you can actually download the XML files. And so if you are a digital humanities person, or you want to be, you can actually get our XML files and then make your own tags and kind of add to the document. So the things that we used are basically personal names, places, dates, organizations, addresses, and abbreviations. And so it's been a really interesting process. And it's been very much different than any other thing we've done. For our XML documents, what we usually do is create a personography, where we will actually go in and give you a little information about each person. But because there's so many, we haven't been able to do it. And Zack talked about George Angel earlier. He is in the TEI project, and yet we know nothing about him. Okay, so here's what it actually looks like. And I was going to try and take it so you could see it live, but I'm kind of afraid to, given how everything has been going so far. if you're interested in seeing how it actually works, I will be happy to show it to you. And I think that's all I really have to say. Great. So
Thank you very much.